Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a powerful question. Do you control your money, or does money control you? In today's world, understanding money isn't just a skill, it's a survival tool. It's the key that unlocks freedom, security, peace of mind, and the ability to live life on your own terms. Now, here's a secret. Rich people think about money very differently than the average person. While most are chasing paychecks and struggling with debt, the wealthy are following a set of timeless rules that allow their money to work for them 24/7. They're not just chasing dollars, they're chasing freedom, impact, and generational wealth. These 12 rules aren't magic, they're not about luck, they're about mindset, discipline, and strategy. If you've ever felt like wealth is only for other people, think again. Today, we break down 12 rules the rich live by and how you can use them to reprogram your financial life one decision at a time. Because once you learn the game of money, you'll never be a pawn again. You'll become the player. One of the most powerful and consistent habits of the wealthy is the principle of paying themselves first. Before they pay rent, before they shop, and long before they splurge on luxuries, they set aside a portion of their income for their future self. This single discipline rewires the relationship they have with money. Instead of seeing money as something to spend, they view it as a tool to grow wealth. Paying themselves first becomes a non-negotiable ritual, and it's this mental shift that turns earners into investors. This habit isn't about saving what's left after spending. It's about prioritizing wealth building before anything else. When most people receive their income, their minds go straight to expenses, bills, entertainment, groceries, lifestyle upgrades. But the rich operate differently. A percentage of their income, sometimes 10%, 20%, or even more, is immediately channeled into investments, savings, or retirement accounts. It's treated like a bill to their future, one they always pay first. This automated discipline ensures they build wealth, no matter their income level. What makes this approach transformative is that it forces delayed gratification. When you set aside money before spending, you're naturally forced to live within your means, but you're also building a safety net and a financial foundation. Over time, this creates compound growth, which is the real magic behind wealth accumulation. Every dollar saved and invested early starts working, earning interest and building momentum. While others live paycheck to paycheck, the wealthy accumulate silent, growing fortunes in the background. Additionally, paying yourself first sends a powerful message to your subconscious. I am worthy of wealth. I prioritize my future over short-term pleasure. This rewires your brain to think long-term. It also brings confidence and emotional security. Instead of living with financial anxiety or reacting to money stress, rich people feel empowered because they've taken control. That control doesn't come from how much money they make, it comes from how they direct it. That's a mindset shift available to anyone. Another overlooked benefit of paying yourself first is how it creates financial resilience. Life is unpredictable. Emergencies, job losses, or unexpected costs can derail anyone. But those who pay themselves first often have emergency funds, investment buffers, and alternative income streams. They aren't scrambling in crisis. They're ready. They move through life with a cushion that most never build. This resilience is what allows them to take risks, start businesses, or invest aggressively, while others are stuck in survival mode. In the end, paying yourself first isn't just a financial strategy. It's an act of self-respect, control, and intelligent planning. One of the most striking differences between the wealthy and the average person is how they perceive and value time. While many people are conditioned to think money is the most valuable resource, the rich understand that time is infinitely more precious, because you can always make more money, but you can never get back lost time. They treat time like a sacred asset, carefully guarded and consciously allocated. Every decision they make, whether it's about work, relationships, or money is filtered through the lens of, is this worth my time? Wealthy individuals understand that time is leverage. They don't try to do everything themselves. Instead, they buy back their time by outsourcing, delegating, and automating. They hire people to do what doesn't need their personal touch, cleaning, errands, administrative work, so they can focus on high-leverage activities, thinking, creating, strategizing, or investing. Time for them is not something to spend, it's something to invest. And they invest it in things that produce long-term freedom, not just short-term comfort. This value system shifts how they approach work. Rather than working endless hours just to earn more income, they focus on building systems and structures that can generate income without constant time input. This might be through passive income, businesses with teams in place, real estate, or intellectual property, while others are trapped in the time for money trap, exchanging hours for a paycheck. The wealthy aim to decouple their income from their time. They ask, how can I earn while I sleep? And build accordingly. More importantly, valuing time over money gives the rich something most people dream of but rarely achieve: freedom of choice. They aren't forced to say yes to toxic jobs, exhausting commutes, or draining tasks because their time isn't sold to survive. They choose how they spend their days, whether that means traveling the world, spending quality time with family, mentoring others, or simply resting. Their time belongs to them. This freedom isn't a fantasy. It's the result of years of prioritizing time as the ultimate wealth. Lastly, this mindset dramatically affects how the wealthy handle distractions. They are ruthless with their time, not in a cold way, but in a purposeful one. They limit time, wasting habits like mindless scrolling, gossip, or reactive behavior. Their calendars are often structured with intention, and they guard their mental space from energy, draining people or tasks. They understand that attention is currency, and where their time flows, energy grows. In valuing their time above all else, the wealthy create a life that is not only rich in money, but rich in meaning, purpose, and peace. The wealthy don't just work for money, they make sure money works for them. This principle lies at the heart of financial independence and long-term wealth creation. While most people are conditioned to trade their time and energy for a paycheck, the rich seek to build systems and assets that generate money even while they sleep. They understand that relying solely on earned income, no matter how high, it's both your time and earning potential. True wealth begins when money is no longer something you chase, but something that flows toward you consistently and automatically. This begins with the concept of investing, not just saving. While saving is crucial for security, it's not enough to grow wealth, especially in a world where inflation erodes purchasing power over time. The wealthy use their income to acquire income-producing assets like stocks, real estate, dividend, paying investments, or even digital assets and intellectual property. These assets appreciate over time and generate passive income, meaning they earn money without active labor. Every dollar they invest becomes a tiny employee, working for them around the clock. More importantly, the wealthy understand the power of compound growth, the ability for investments to grow exponentially over time as returns earn additional returns. It's not just about making a quick profit, it's about long-term thinking and allowing money to multiply slowly but steadily. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men on earth, attributes a large portion of his wealth not just to his skill, but to starting early and letting compounding do the work. The average person spends most of their life working for money, but the wealthy spend time building a portfolio so their money can work for them forever. This principle also changes how they view spending. While others may spend their income on liabilities, things that lose value the moment they're bought, the wealthy ask, will this purchase create more money? They don't just avoid unnecessary spending, they intentionally direct money into wealth, generating activities. Whether it's investing in a startup, buying a rental property, or funding a marketing strategy for a business, they're constantly finding ways to multiply their money rather than just spending it. It's not about being frugal, it's about being strategically resourceful. Finally, letting money work for you brings more than financial rewards. It brings freedom of thought and action. It allows the wealthy to focus on creativity, philanthropy, legacy, building, or passion projects without the stress of income dependency. They can walk away from toxic environments, take breaks when needed, and pursue what matters most, not just what pays the bills. This liberation comes not from luck, but from years of consistently choosing to invest over consume, build over spend, and plant seeds that will eventually grow into a forest of wealth. The moment money starts working for you, not the other way around, is the moment you begin to experience the true power of financial freedom. Wealthy individuals are not necessarily debt-free, they're just debt-smart. They clearly distinguish between bad debt and good debt, and they use this knowledge as a strategic weapon rather than a financial trap. Bad debt, such as credit card balances used for consumer goods or high-interest personal loans, drains wealth. It creates a cycle where you're constantly paying more than you borrowed, often for things that have no long-term value. Rich people avoid this kind of debt like a disease because they understand that it doesn't just hurt your wallet. It destroys your momentum and compromises your financial freedom. Instead, they embrace the concept of good debt, borrowed money that helps them build income-producing assets. For example, they may take a mortgage to acquire rental property, use a business loan to fund a scalable operation, or leverage borrowed funds to invest in appreciating assets. In all these cases, the debt is working for them, not against them. The key difference is this: bad debt takes money out of your pocket every month, while good debt puts money back in. That simple principle is how the wealthy turn leverage into a wealth-building machine. The rich also know how to manage and optimize debt. They don't take loans without calculating risk, ROI, return on investment, and long-term impact. Before they take on any debt, they evaluate whether the asset they're financing will generate predictable cash flow, appreciate in value, or provide a significant return. They understand interest rates, credit scores, tax implications, and they always have a plan to repay or refinance under favorable terms. Unlike the average consumer, who borrows based on emotion or impulse, the wealthy use debt with precision and discipline. Moreover, avoiding bad debt allows the wealthy to maintain financial flexibility. When you're not buried under car payments, payday loans, or rising credit card balances, you have room to breathe, room to invest, to take risks, to seize opportunities when they arise. Bad debt makes people financially paralyzed, unable to invest in anything meaningful because they're constantly playing catch-up. Wealthy individuals keep their liabilities low so they can redirect funds toward assets, building a more secure and opportunity-rich future. Finally, rich people use debt as a way to scale faster. They realize that wealth is not just built by saving money, it's built by accelerating smart decisions with borrowed capital. They use other people's money opium, whether from banks, investors, or partners, to do more than they could alone. This kind of leveraging allows them to grow businesses, expand portfolios, and increase their net worth exponentially, but they do so carefully, backed by strong cash flow, insurance, risk management, and legal structures. In the hands of the rich, debt is not a danger, it's a financial lever, and when pulled strategically, it multiplies wealth without multiplying stress. One of the most powerful and consistent habits of the wealthy is their unrelenting commitment to financial education. They don't rely on schools, governments, or employers to teach them how money works. They take that responsibility into their own hands. They understand that the traditional education system rarely teaches practical financial literacy, so they turn to books, mentors, online courses, podcasts, financial seminars, and mastermind groups to fill that gap. While the average person may believe financial knowledge is optional, the rich treat it as essential survival knowledge, as important as health, family, and career. This obsession with learning isn't limited to just investing or saving. It spans across multiple areas: tax planning, debt structuring, passive income models, real estate markets, business scaling, estate planning, inflation protection, and more. They study not just how money moves, but also why it moves the way it does. They explore macroeconomics, market psychology, behavioral finance, and global financial trends. Because of this broad understanding, they are able to make smarter decisions and anticipate opportunities and risks long before the average person even realizes what's happening. The wealthy also understand that financial ignorance is expensive. Not knowing how taxes work, how credit scores impact borrowing, or how to read a financial statement can lead to poor decisions that cost thousands, or even millions, over a lifetime. They know that every missed investment, every unnecessary loan, every poor budgeting habit is money slipping through their fingers. Instead of hoping someone else will manage their finances, they take ownership. This doesn't mean they do everything themselves, but it does mean they're educated enough to ask the right questions, hire the right people, and evaluate whether they're getting good advice. Another key reason the rich prioritize financial education is because it gives them confidence and control. When you understand how money works, you stop feeling like a victim of the economy, the job market, or rising prices. You begin to see patterns, make strategic decisions, and plan years, even decades, ahead. That sense of clarity removes fear and replaces it with vision and execution. Rich people don't just react to life, they design it, and that design is rooted in knowledge. As Jim Rohn famously said, if you want to have more, you have to become more. That becoming starts with learning. Perhaps most importantly, their desire to keep learning never stops. No matter how much money they accumulate, the rich never assume they know it all. In fact, the more they learn, the more they realize there's still more to uncover. They treat financial mastery as a lifelong pursuit, not a one-time goal. And because the world of money is always evolving, new technologies, new asset classes, shifting economic policies, they stay ahead by staying curious, humble, and hungry. In doing so, they ensure their wealth not only lasts, but grows and adapts across generations. Now that you've explored these powerful principles, paying yourself first, valuing time over money, letting your money work for you, using debt as a tool instead of a trap, and constantly educating yourself about money, you can probably see the common thread. Wealth is not about luck. It's about intentional choices. The rich don't just live differently because they have money. They have money because they live differently. They apply discipline where others rely on comfort. They choose long-term gain over instant pleasure. And they constantly invest in the one thing that never loses value, their mindset. If you want to change your financial reality, start small. Start with one habit, one mindset shift, one rule, because it's not the size of your paycheck that determines your wealth. It's what you do with it. And the moment you begin making conscious financial decisions, you step into a new level of power, a level where your time belongs to you, where your money multiplies quietly, where your future is not left to chance but shaped by your daily actions. This is your reminder that wealth isn't just for them. It's for you too. You don't have to be born rich. You just have to learn how the rich think and act on it consistently, because once you do, you won't just have money. You'll have freedom.